They laughed when she said, "Call your general." It wasn't cruel laughter at first, more disbelief. The kind that comes when power feels absolute and unquestioned. Rifles rested loosely against armored vests. The checkpoint lights hummed. And the woman, standing in the dust, hands empty, voice steady, looked like someone who had already lost. The night air was thick with diesel and tension as she repeated herself, quieter this time, "Call your general." Her eyes didn't move, not from the man in charge, not from the weapons pointed near her chest. "Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you rewatching from. I love knowing who's listening." Her name was Mara Hale, though no one at that checkpoint knew it. To them, she was just another civilian delayed too long after curfew. A woman in a plain jacket, boots dusted from miles of walking, hair pulled back without care, no insignia, no visible authority, no fear that they could recognize. Inside, fear was there. It always was. But it had learned to stay quiet. The commander stepped closer, smirking. He told her generals didn't take calls from nobodies. He told her she had 5 seconds to move along. Round them, soldiers shifted, bored, amused, impatient. Someone muttered a joke. Another laughed louder. Mara felt the weight of the small device in her pocket, cold metal, worn edges. She had sworn she would never use it unless there was no other choice. And now, with civilians sheltering just beyond the checkpoint and a convoy rerouted into danger, there was no other choice left. She thought of the promise she'd made years earlier. She thought she'd never have to break it. She was wrong. When the commander reached for her arm, she spoke again, not louder, sharper. "If you don't make that call," she said, "men will die before sunrise, and you'll know their names." That gave him pause. Just a flicker, enough to annoy him. "Fine," he said mockingly. "Let's hear it." He handed her a radio, still smiling, expecting theater, expecting nothing. Mara took it, fingers steady, despite the tremor in her chest. She dialed a frequency few people alive even knew existed. For a moment, there was only static. Someone laughed again. Then the line went quiet, not silent quiet, as if the world itself leaned closer. A voice came through, low and controlled. It's not asking who she was, not asking where she'd gotten the channel. Just one question, status. Mara closed her eyes for half a breath. "Raven Gate compromised," she said. Civilians boxed in. Unauthorized command holding position, the commander's smile vanished. The voice on the radio changed. "Who is this? Someone you once told never to hesitate?" Mara replied. The pause this time was longer, heavy. When the voice returned, it was different, careful, reverent. "Stand by." The radio crackled off. Around them, the checkpoint had gone still. No jokes now, no laughter. Just boots shifting on gravel and the sound of someone swallowing hard. The commander demanded the radio back. Mara didn't move. She knew this moment. The waiting was always worse than the danger. Minutes passed like hours. The night deepened. Then headlights appeared in the distance fast, coordinated, too precise to be coincidence. Vehicles moved like a tide, stopping exactly where they needed to. Doors opened in unison. Shadows flowed forward with purpose. Navy SEALs. Not charging. Not shouting. Just appearing. Surrounding the checkpoint with a calm that was more frightening than force. Orders were given quietly. Weapons were lowered. The commander tried to speak. No one listened. An officer approached Mara and stopped a respectful distance away. "Ma'am," he said, voice tight with disbelief. "Command wants you escorted." She handed over the radio and finally let herself breathe. As they walked past, stunned soldiers, whispers followed her. Who was she? What had she done? Some stared with awe, others with shame. One young soldier looked at her as if seeing the future and the past collide. Inside the command vehicle, the general waited. Older now. Lines etched deep by decisions that never truly faded. When he saw her, he stood. "Mara," he said softly. She didn't salute, neither did he. They spoke alone, about choices, about lines crossed and lines held, about the cost of power and the burden of knowing when to use it. The general offered her a return. A badge. A place. She declined. "I just needed you to listen," she said. By dawn, the checkpoint was dismantled. Civilians moved safely through, no shots fired, no names added to lists that never shrink. Mara walked away as the sun lifted, just another figure on the road. But those who had been there would never forget the moment laughter died and silence answered back. Because authority isn't about who shouts the loudest, because courage doesn't announce itself, it waits until it's needed. And because sometimes the quietest voice is the one that can move armies. If this story stayed with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to Whispered Words for more stories where humanity, courage, and truth meet in the shadows.